There are three kinds of people in this world. Those that can count and those that can't. Welcome back to Talking with Jazz with your host, Big Daddy O. This is where we explore the truth and the fiction. That was a joke before, okay? But I'm trying to draw a thesis or something, write a thesis, come up with a thesis. I'm trying to come up with a thesis about the three types of people in this world. I heard it the other day, and it related to making choices in life, shall we say. And they divided the world into three. There are three types of people. So this is not the joke from before. This is just actually, me trying to formulate a thesis out of this piece of information. So the three types of people. There are people that know it all. They're the top part. They're the ones that actually know what to do. And they always get it right. They, buy houses when you should, or sell them when you should, and all that stuff. They've got the good job, or, they make the career choices where they get a bit of flexibility and they have some, because a lot of things compromise, right? You can have a great job where you get paid a heap of money, but you never see your family. So, how good is that? Stupid, right? But then there's the middle band, which is probably most people. Now, they know a little bit. They don't know everything. But they get it right sometimes and get it wrong sometimes. Okay? They're the cautious bunch because they don't really know, what's going on. And they're actually cautious because they have a little bit of knowledge. So they never get it right, or frequently don't get it right. And that's actually the truth. That's what we would call the herd. So they tend to want to do the right thing, but are stopped by the fact that they won't really take much risk because they know sort of the right thing to do, but they're hesitant, and that really is most people. Okay, it's kind of, let's call them sensible people, not the right people, sensible people. They usually end up working long hours and getting paid well, but not seeing their family, or staying at home, seeing their family every bloody day, but not having a penny. Okay, you see how that works. Then there's the people, let's call them at the bottom. And they're very similar to the people at the top, in my mind anyway. They seem to get it right all the time, just through dumb luck. Now, you can take this as it will, okay? But it's not based on specifically this story, but this story is the story that I'm going to tell with regards to this bottom rung, okay? We'll call them bottom rung. The winners that would appear to, not be in line for the top prize. Anyway, life's not about winning anyway, so who cares? But this is just one example, because people can win in some aspects of their life and lose in others, okay? It all ends up a zero-sum game, I would have said. So, many years ago, in the 1960s, when the UK was becoming a socialist paradise, or not that I've got anything against that, it's just that, people don't realise that it is incredibly socialised in the UK. And in the 60s, they really made a big move on it. After the war and all that, the place was destroyed. So they had to build a lot of houses, and they gave people the choice whether they would be going to rent or buy. Now, the people in the middle band, who were going to live in these social housing projects, as they called them, the projects or something like that, developments, I can't remember what they call them. They had the choice to buy or rent. So the middle band, they chose to buy, which would seem like a sensible idea because, you put your money, you buy, and the more happy-go-lucky, I don't really know what I'm doing, people said, oh, we're going to rent. Now, it turns out that whatever it was, 30, 40 years later, at the end of the sort of I want to live in this project, the people who had rented had done infinitely better because their landlord was the government. And every time something broke or whatever, or the place needed a refurbish, it would just be refurbished. And they set a program every 10 years they'd repaint the house, change the hot water service for free, replace everything, beautiful. So at the end, the people who rented paid, in fact, less than the people who bought them, which you'd think was the right thing to do. You see, the herd mentality. But they had to pay for all their repairs. They had to pay interest on their mortgage. They were stuck with a much higher monthly output in order to end up with a house which they own but wasn't worth that much, and they'd spent an absolute fortune on. Whereas the renters left behind a beautiful house and wandered off into the sunset. So that's just one example. I'm sure there's others that you can think of. Write me a comment. Maybe try not to be in the middle. Being in the middle is not always good. Following the herd. It's all that sort of think outside the box stuff, which I hate that expression. Think outside the box. They're stupid. It's kind of about doing it your own way, I think. And also not being contrary just for the hell of it. But sometimes contrarian thinking works the best. That's what I find. Why don't you have a great day? I hope you enjoyed that story, or at least you learned something. Why don't you subscribe? I make one of these for every day, and you might miss something if you don't subscribe. Something important, because I'm randomly going through things in my mind as they come up. This is my memory. Maybe it's not important, but subscribing will mean you don't miss the notifications, etc. Have a great day.